What if planting a citrus tree got you a $550 fine? What if it led to police uprooting it from your yard? In Nevada, Ethan James faced an HOA nightmare. But then they discovered he's an FBI agent. Stay tuned for a story of personal passion, injustice, and a surprising twist of justice. In the arid suburb of Desert Bloom Estates, Nevada, the sun beat down relentlessly. The scent of dry sagebrush filled the air. Here, 43-year-old Ethan James had recently settled. He was an FBI agent specializing in cybercrime. Ethan had bought his $310,000 single-story home in 2025. It was a quiet retreat after intense investigations. On the warm morning of June 8, 2027, Ethan tended to his backyard. He had planted a small citrus tree a month ago. Its leaves rustled softly in the breeze. The tree was a mandarin orange, a symbol of his love for gardening. The faint scent of citrus blossoms drifted through the air. Desert Bloom Estates was governed by a strict homeowners association. It was led by 60-year-old President Dorothy Wells, a former school principal. Dorothy enforced rules with a rigid hand. She saw the neighborhood as a pristine desert oasis, no unapproved plants, no deviations, and certainly no fruit trees that could attract pests. The HOA bylaws were clear. No unapproved vegetation allowed, they stated. A $550 fine per violation. Dorothy applied this rule without exception. She believed fruit trees disrupted the desert aesthetic. That morning she drove through the neighborhood in her car. The air conditioning hummed softly. She spotted Ethan's citrus tree through his fence. It was a clear violation in her eyes. Dorothy's lips tightened. She adjusted her hat. "A fruit tree in my community," she muttered. "That tree is coming out today." She pulled out her phone. Her fingers dialed the local police. The call connected with a faint beep. At 10:30 a.m., Ethan watered his citrus tree. The water splashed softly on the soil. The leaves rustled as he adjusted a branch. Suddenly, the sharp wail of police sirens broke the morning calm. Ethan turned. His boots scuffed the dry ground. A police cruiser pulled up to his house. Its tires kicked up dust. Red and blue lights flashed in the harsh sunlight. Two officers stepped out. Their boots crunched on the gravel. The lead officer, 45-year-old Mark Daniels, approached Ethan. "Sir, we've had a complaint about an unapproved tree," Officer Daniels said. His voice was firm. It cut through the rustle of the leaves. Ethan's brow furrowed. He set down his watering can. "A complaint? This is my tree. It's on my property," he said. His voice was calm but steady. His words carried through the dry air. Dorothy had followed in her car. She stepped out with a stern expression. She held a fine notice in her hand. Her sandals scraped on the pavement. "Your tree violates HOA rules. It's a pest risk," she declared. Her tone was sharp. "That's a $550 fine, and we're removing it." Ethan's eyes narrowed. He crossed his arms. "This is my yard. It's just a citrus tree," he countered. His words overlapped with the sound of Dorothy tearing the fine notice from her pad. The paper ripped with a harsh sound. Officer Daniels wasn't swayed. He was known in Desert Bloom Estates for enforcing HOA complaints. "If you don't comply, I'll have to take further action," he snapped. His tone was cold. He called for a landscaping crew. A truck arrived with shovels. The crew began to uproot the citrus tree. The sound of digging filled the air. The tree's roots snapped as it was pulled from the ground. The trunk fell with a heavy thud. Ethan watched in disbelief. His heart sank. The tree lay on its side, its leaves scattered on the dirt. "You can't do this!" he shouted. His voice rose over the noise. Officer Daniels turned to him. He unhooked his handcuffs from his belt. The metal clinked ominously. "Step back, sir, or you'll be arrested," he warned. His voice was low. Ethan took a deep breath. He reached into his pocket. The rustle of fabric broke the tense silence. He pulled out his FBI badge. The emblem glinted in the sunlight. "I think you'll want to reconsider," he said. His tone was steady. He held up the badge. "I'm Ethan James, FBI agent." His voice carried the weight of his authority. The badge shone brightly in the desert sun. Officer Daniels froze. His handcuffs dropped to his side. The clink of metal was faint in the air. Dorothy's eyes widened. Her fine notice crumpled in her hand. The paper crinkled as her confidence crumbled. "FBI?" she stammered. Her voice trembled. She realized her mistake. Daniels spoke into his radio. The static crackled with his urgent message. "Dispatch. We've got a situation. Stand down," he said. His voice was shaky. The landscaping crew paused. They stopped their work. The shovels fell silent. Neighbors began to gather. They stood at the edge of their yards. Their murmurs grew louder. They watched the scene unfold. The sagebrush swayed gently in the breeze. Ethan's expression remained calm. His FBI authority was undeniable. He addressed Daniels and Dorothy. "You've overstepped your bounds," he said. His tone was measured. "The HOA has no right to ban trees on private property, and you, officer, have no grounds to destroy my tree." Daniels nodded. His face was flushed with embarrassment. "I'm sorry, Agent James. We didn't know," he said. His voice was low. He signaled the crew. They began to replant the tree. The roots were gently placed back into the soil. Dorothy tried to save face. Her voice trembled. She clutched the crumpled fine notice. "The bylaws still apply," she said. Her tone was desperate. The paper crinkled louder as she turned to leave, but Ethan shook his head. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer," he said. His voice was a quiet promise. He watched as the tree was secured. The leaves rustled softly once more. The next day, Ethan filed a lawsuit against the HOA. His experience as an FBI agent gave him a strong sense of justice. He worked with a lawyer to build his case. The rustle of legal documents filled his home office. The lawsuit gained attention in Desert Bloom Estates. The trial took place in a local courthouse. Residents packed the gallery. Their footsteps echoed on the floor. Ethan's lawyer presented the case. The HOA's actions were unjust, he argued. His voice was steady. They violated property rights. The rustle of exhibits was loud as he handed them to the judge. Dorothy and the HOA board struggled to defend their actions. Their lawyer's voice was shaky. He tried to justify the fine. The tension in the courtroom was thick. The judge delivered a swift verdict. His gavel slammed down with a resounding thud. The sound echoed through the room. The HOA's actions were baseless, he declared. His voice boomed. The HOA was ordered to pay Ethan $9,000 in damages. The verdict was a clear win. It left Dorothy visibly shaken. Her fine notice was now a worthless piece of paper. The residents of Desert Bloom Estates cheered. Their applause filled the courthouse. It was a celebration of Ethan's victory. They supported his right to garden. In the aftermath, the HOA rescinded its vegetation ban. Dorothy stepped down in disgrace. Her resignation was announced at the next meeting. A new president took over. The community's freedom was restored. They could now plant trees without fear. Ethan continued his work as an FBI agent. His citrus tree thrived in his yard. The leaves rustled softly in the breeze. The scent of citrus blossoms returned. Desert Bloom Estates became a symbol of personal rights. Ethan stood in his yard. He looked at his tree with pride. A sense of justice warmed him in the Nevada heat. And so, a small citrus tree became a battle for justice in Desert Bloom Estates, Nevada. FBI agent Ethan James turned the tables on an overzealous HOA. How would you fight for your gardening passions? What do you think? Should HOAs control your backyard? Share your thoughts. Join us next time for another tale of justice. Until then, keep standing up for what's right. Thank you for listening.